Hey guys, this is Goku, and on this channel we talk about poker and ideas that can improve your life. So if you're interested in that, please go ahead and click the subscribe button because I'll be honored to have you here. In this video, we'll talk about the play on the turn, and I'll show you some of the most important factors you should consider when making your decisions on the street. So let's get right into it. Okay, so you're on the turn. What factors should you consider when making your decision here? Strength of your hand. Do you have a made hand or do you have a draw? How strong is your hand relative to the board? If you have a top pair and there are already straights and flushes possible on the board, then your hand isn't strong. On the other hand, if the board is very dry, your top pair is strong and might be the best hand. If you have a draw, is it a strong draw with many outs, like a flush draw with overcards, or a weak one, like a gut shot with 4 outs? The number of people in the hand. Obviously, the more people there are in the hand, the more careful you should be. Ideally, you'd want to be heads up, because with every additional player, the probability that they have you beat increases and your chances of winning with a bluff decrease greatly. The action pre-flop and on the flop. If there were fireworks like 3 bets and 4 bets pre-flop and or on the flop, you can greatly narrow down your opponent's ranges. On the other hand, if the action went very slow and everyone checked the flop, you may assume nobody is particularly strong. The size of the pot. It's connected with the previous point. The bigger the pot is, the stronger you need your hand to be. You don't want to build big pots with marginal hands. You only want to be involved in big pots with your very strong hands. So if you called the flop with a medium strength draw and missed, and now you don't have good enough pot odds to call your opponent's bet, you should just fold. How much money you and your opponents have behind and what kind of players they are. If your opponent only has a pot-sized bet left in his stack, he's not folding, therefore you should not try to bluff him. On the other hand, if you're both very deep, you may justify calling with a weak draw because of implied odds. Also, when you have reasons to believe your opponent isn't a very good player, you will want to get involved in pots against him with much weaker hands than usual. So once you have analyzed all these factors, your decision should get much easier. Don't worry, with experience you'll be able to do that in a blink of an eye. One last thing I want to talk about is that at this point in the hand, you should have a plan for what you're going to do on the river. And you have to go through every possible scenario too. What you're going to do when the river is a blank, and what you're going to do when it completes the draws. What if your opponent checks to you, and what if he bets? The turn is when the hand starts to get exciting, so your decision making has to be on point. You don't want to get to the river with a marginal hand, having no clue where you're at, and with the pot being already too big. Okay, great. Let's sum up what you've learned. There are a few factors that you should take into consideration before acting on the turn. The strength of your hand, the number of players in the hand, the action pre-flop and on the flop, the size of the pot, how much money you and your opponents have behind, and what kind of players your opponents are. So once you analyze those factors and you decide not to fold, you should think of possible river scenarios. It's good to come up with a plan for whatever is going to happen, because you should always be prepared. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and post them below and I'll be sure to answer them as best as I can. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to watch more videos like this in the future. You want to learn how to play poker? Great. You have little or no experience playing poker? No problem. Do you want to learn the fundamentals, the most basic principles that allow you to easily win money when playing with casual players? That's perfect, because this Udemy course was created specifically for people like you. My name is Mateusz, I've played over 3 million hands of No Limit Texas Hold'em, and I would like to teach you how to play poker like a pro. What you will learn in this course are the fundamentals, the ABC of poker, condensed into 21 short and easily digestible lectures, which altogether take just under 2.5 hours to watch. In each lecture, you will learn a different concept which you can test out and practice immediately after watching. And that's really the best way of taking this course. As with all skills in life, you cannot become a pro unless you spend some hours practicing the craft. So you're gonna have to practice and play some poker for at least 30 minutes after each and every lesson. If you do that, I have no doubt that you will become a winning poker player in less than 2 weeks. Well, do you want to become a good poker player? Do you want to be able to beat recreational players easily? Do you want to have a great time winning at your local home games? Great! Get this course now and start winning at poker.